Does the distance formula scare you? Let me fix that for you. Let's go. Okay, so the distance formula looks kind of frightening. There's a square root in it. There's a lot of sub numbers in here. There's minuses, there's pluses, there's squareds. It feels like a lot to keep in your head. But what I want to tell you is it's just the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, it's just a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Well, how is that the case? Well, let's take a look. So c in this case would be the distance. So the distance formula solves for just d. So we would start by taking our c squared and square rooting both sides. So c equals the square root of a squared plus b squared. And now our a and our b, our side lengths, are being described not as lengths, but as distances traveled in the x direction and distance traveled in the y direction. So our length A would be described as the larger x minus the smaller x squared. Or actually, you could do it either way because the squared is going to take care of whether you end up with a negative. And the b is just describing our movement in the y direction, our larger y minus our smaller y. Now let's take a look at what that means when you're given 2 points and you have to find the distance between them. Find the distance between A, -4, 5, and B, 3, 2. Okay, I'm a visual person, so let's start by plotting. So -4, 5 is about here, and 3, 2 is about there. And we want the distance, that means the straight line, between them. Okay, so for sure, you could just jump straight into throwing the numbers right in there. But I want to show you something that might feel a little more intuitive. I'm going to drop the triangle around this distance, where this distance would be the hypotenuse. All right, so if this point is -4, 5, and this point is 3, 2, then I can do the following. From here, -4, and then continuing on another 3, this length right here would be a total of, that's right, 7. And from here, 2, up to here, 5, this would be a distance of 3. And now if I want to find my distance, my hypotenuse, that's Pythagorean theorem, 3 squared plus 7 squared, which is 9 plus 49 or 58, and that's my c squared. So if I want my distance, I square root that. And 58 breaks into 2 times 29, and 29 is a prime number, so there's no further breakdown here. My distance would be root 58. Now let's see how that is the same thing as our funky distance formula. So let's say I went ahead and I just plugged all my numbers in here. So that would look like this. My x1 would be my -4. My x2 would be my 3. My y1 would be my 5. My y2 would be my 2. And it doesn't matter which order I put these in as long as I'm consistent. So if I wanted, that could have been my x1, and that could have been my x2, and then that would be y1 and that would be y2. So as long as you're consistent, it doesn't matter. -4 minus another 3 is -7. 5 minus 2 is 3. And as you can see, I'm now in the same position I was down here. And this is a perfect example of how it doesn't matter which goes first, because when I square -7, I'm going to get the same thing as when I square 7. And so then my distance formula is again going to be the square root of 9 plus 49, 9, 49. And that is how the distance formula and the Pythagorean theorem are the same. So if you love formulas, go for it with your distance formula. If the distance formula has always scared you, drop the triangle around the distance as the hypotenuse, and then just count. It's from -4 to 3. Well, that's 4 to get to the 0 and another 3 to get to this point. 7, that is your x1 minus x2. Okay, so there's your distance formula made easy. Stay tuned. My next video is going to solve one of those problems where you're given 3 points. You have to find all the distances of the sides of the triangle that creates. Then you have to determine if it's a right triangle. Then you have to find its area. We got this. Leave any questions you have in the comments. Consider subscribing to my channel so you know when I put out a new video. And as always, keep on mathing.